Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Nitro Team binding. I rode this binding at Copper Mountain on an overcast day that had pockets of blue. Sometimes it was snowing, wet snow, warmer temps, chop, chunder, slush, ice, crud. Basically every condition you get in the month of April in the state of Colorado, and I rode it on my Ride Shadow Band snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. This is one of Nitro's most adjustable bindings. So you actually have a push-pull system on the toe strap. So you push it down, slide it back, pull it up, or you can push it forward depending where you need to center it. Then on the toe and the heel strap, you also have these flip tabs, so that opens it up so you can slide them up or down depending on where you need to center them on your boot. Through these screws on the back, that is also where you adjust the heel cup. So if you need to slide it out or push it in, depending on the size of your boot, you'll do that there. This also houses where you rotate your high back. So if you want to make it more parallel to the heel edge, you're going to take these screws out. You have 3 places that you can do that. And on top of that, you also have a flip tab for the forward lean adjustment. So you just flip that up, slide it down, lock it in. And then finally, your toe ramp can actually be moved a little forward or backwards depending where your boot sits in the chassis. New for this year on the team is the 3D OptiFrame locked down strap. This is a molded strap reducing all excess materials. Now, one thing that I've noticed with this is that it feels a little more rigid, so it is a little stiffer when you drive into it, but it's got a good cutout. It really cradles over the instep of your boot. You feel locked down and secured compared to the older strap that the team binding had. On the toe, you have the Uber Grip toe strap. This thing has Vibram on it. It locks you down. You feel nice and tight on it. The cutout is good. It's gonna fit over a multitude of boot shapes. So whether you got a pointy-toed boot, a blunt-shaped boot, or something in between, this will work with it. These straps are a little thicker in the toe, so when you do drive into it, you notice that. But one thing that I will say is I did not feel any pressure points with it, which was nice. So the Ratchets climb, well, you can get good leverage with it. That one finger quick release, I think the tab could be a few millimeters longer, it'd just be easier to grab, but it does work. One thing that I want you to note is the way that these sit on the straps, they actually sit a little higher, and then the screw to replace them is underneath the little cleat that locks in. So if you break a ratchet and you have to remove what's excess of it, gonna be kind of a pain in the ass. Just want you to be aware of that. That's one thing I noted. Otherwise, these ratchets work really, really well. They stay locked in. I did not have any issues with them. Hey, are you enjoying this video? Why don't you give it a thumbs up? While you're down there, if you haven't, why don't you subscribe? Click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. This is an anatomically shaped high back, so it actually sits higher on the inside than the outside. This will help you when you are tweaking stuff on the outside or driving back into the inside of it. There is a ton of foam in this high back, and you also have that quick release forward lean adjustment for adjusting on the fly. Now, there is some give to this high back, so when you're driving into it, you're gonna feel that. It's not the most powerful out there, but it is pretty solid. These are a tad on the stiffer side of middle of the road. They're not quite a full-blown free ride charger binding, but they are a little stiffer. And I noticed that I had more lateral drive with it. That is due in part to how tight the heel cup was, even with it maxed out in my K2 boots. If I was in a Vans or a 32, they would have been really pinching it. Instead, they were only moderately pinching it. So I did get a lot more response out of it. The overall flex though, when you drive into that toe or back into that heel cup up through the high back, you notice it. It's very reactive and it allows you to just push through it. The straps also responsive, they contour well. There's not a lot of give to them. It's just a lot of response. These are damp, and I mean very damp. That air ride system that they use in the heel pocket, amazing. Then under the toe, you got that foam. It just dissipates all that chatter and kinetic energy that usually comes up into the binding. You can run over just about anything with this at any speed. You don't have to worry about it. If you're someone that has knee and ankle pains, this is a great binding to look at if your boots fit into it, to make sure that you're not getting excess foot fatigue from chatter in your board or the terrain that you're riding. Rider in mind, this binding is for the rider that's gonna have one binding. They want power, performance, and just a little bit of play to it. Something that they can use to ride the whole mountain for any type of riding. Do you like what we're doing over here? Do you want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. That new heel strap, absolutely amazing. Perfect addition to this binding. It helps give it a little bit more power, a little bit more precision. Now I will say this, with the heel cup completely maxed out in a size 10 in a medium, I should have been fine. It was tight. It was pinching the sides, which it shouldn't have done. But if I'd gone up to the large, I'm pretty sure I would have been floating around. The nice thing about it pinching though was the response was top notch. I could really get a lot of lateral drive out of this. It's a good binding for someone that can only have one binding to do it all. And you know, you get it in this pink colorway. Is that your thing? I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Comparable bindings, the Rome DOD, the Union Atlas, the Yes Drive. This has been my review of the Nitro Team binding. If you're getting a pair of these and you need to know how to set them up, why don't you go watch my video on that? You know you want to. That way you can get it completely dialed in for you.